What's your life goal, and have you achieved it?
Yeah, I married you.
Aw, gross.
You really need to go out there and make sure the whole world hates you. Oh, perfect.
My butthole is all over the internet.
A fine wine. She keeps me in the basement and pulls me out when she needs me.
If I drink Sambuca, he's getting it.
I bought a case.
You can tell a lot about a person by the way their tits, pussy, or dick looks.
You come near my cheeks and it's not going to be a good day for you, homie. This is going to be special.
Welcome to the Two Onions podcast with Dani Daniels.
And Vic.
What's up, guys? I'm Dani Daniels. Over here is my husband, Vic. And we are live from our library in our home because we're in New York and we're quarantined and we're staying safe. And my stepson, Adam, is obviously not here today.
He's remotely watching this.
Yeah, so it's just the two of us. And we are attempting to do this from home. So if the video or sound isn't perfect, I mean, just bear with us.
Yeah, go with us. We're doing the best we can, and that's why we have our stepson Adam in on this, because he does this better than we do.
Vic wanted to interview me today. We had talked about, like, should we do more fan questions? Should we do a topic? And he was like, I want to interview you. And I was like, all right, so.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we start, I just want to make a note that Vic got dressed up for this.
This is my interview clothes. What do you think, guys?
A collared shirt, button-up shirt, and I'm in my jammies.
Story of my life.
Yeah, so there you go.
Anyway. So, welcome to my interview room.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to. We walked a far distance to come here. So you've given a lot of interviews over the year. Most of them are reasonably the same.
Yeah.
So people know.
I'm gonna pretend that you don't know the answers to these.
No. I'm just gonna assume, and if you haven't seen any of my wife's interviews, please go look at them. But people know about how you got your porn star name, how you got your start, why you did things.
Yeah.
What you were growing up as. But there's some questions that I've always wanted to ask you, and I'm waiting to see what this
really?
is. Yeah, this is
you know everything about me.
No, I do, but there are some things that I was wondering from your perspective. So, I mean, everybody kind of knows that you left stripping in Omaha.
Yeah.
And started doing girl.
Yeah.
So that lasted how long? How long before you?
How long was I stripping?
How long were you doing girl before you went to boy girl?
Oh God, I think it was like 4 years.
4 years.
I want to say I might be wrong. 4 or 5 years. More than 3 years and less than 5.
That would be 4. Yeah. So you get in your car.
Yeah.
You hike out to L.A.
Yeah.
You find an agent. You find Sandy.
Yeah.
We both know Sandy. Sandy, hopefully you're watching this. You start doing girl. It's a year later.
Okay.
What's going through your head?
A year after I started shooting?
A year after you start shooting, you're in it now. You're in it. You are officially an adult film star. You're a porn star.
Okay. What
are you thinking? What's going through your head in that first year? That's a big change.
I don't know. Like, really nothing. Like, I was enjoying it. And I wasn't really, I didn't like think of it as like, oh, I'm a porn star now. I was just like enjoying doing the scenes and, yeah, like it didn't like register like, oh, I'm a porn star now until I did my first showcase with Elegant Angel called Dani, and it's all girl. And I think that was after my first, I'm like 99% sure. But that was when I, like, before that, I was just like, oh, I'm just, like, having fun, banging girls, shooting scenes. And then, but that, it wasn't until then, really.
So you move forward, you're in this 3-4 years,
mm-hmm.
and you move to Boy Girl,
mm-hmm.
and you have a very prominent showcase again,
mm-hmm.
a Boy Girl showcase. And now all of a sudden you take off.
Mm-hmm.
You become a legitimate porn star at this point. When you make CNBC's Dirty Dozen, you've become a legitimate porn star.
That's arguable because to say like I have to do dick to be a legitimate porn star isn't a fair
not legitimate in terms of the industry being a legitimate porn star. I mean, you're legitimately now a porn star. You qualify in that category. When a mainstream news organization like CNBC
mm-hmm.
recognizes you, you've achieved a level.
Yeah, but I think they recognized me when I was just doing girls. I think when I started doing boy girl, I was at the one of the heights of my career. That didn't really launch me at all, if that makes any sense. Like I was really popular doing girl girl. I mean, it might have, I don't know. I'd have to check like when the articles were written.
I believe you were 14, 15, and 16. You made the Dirty Dozen.
2000, not
2014,
age.
yeah. Not age, no.
Yeah.
That would be.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you recognize that you now start winning awards.
I won Best Girl Scene.
Yep, you won Best Girl Scene.
But
it actually famously made it into a Showtime television show.
It did on accident. But that's you're right. Like I definitely became more popular when I started taking dick. But
I wasn't trying to equate it with whether you did boy girl or whether you did girl girl, but just that you got to that level.
Okay.
So now you're at that level. You're top 50 porn star.
Okay.
In America. Does it change the way you think of things? Did you realize it?
Not until I started getting stopped on the street. Like my followers and like my fans online, like I'm very grateful for them, but it didn't like, I had always been very active on social media. So like as my popularity grew, I didn't really notice. But when people like started coming up to me, especially in porn, because you don't get stopped on the street very often because people don't want to admit it. So I mean, we've talked about this before, is like for one person coming up to me is probably like 100 people knowing who I am. Just I get messages all the time like, oh, I saw you here, but I didn't want to say anything, or I was with my wife, or my family, whatever.
Or I was nervous.
Yeah, and it's if you come up to me on the street, you have to admit that you jerk off to porn, which like I think it should be open and who fucking cares. But I get it. I get like there's a privacy aspect. As opposed to like, oh, I know you from that mainstream movie. But that was probably when I started being like, oh, well, fuck. Because I didn't get into it to be like recognized I didn't get into it for fame. So I was excited because it was like a check in the sense of like, wow, you're really good at your job. And like, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. Anytime you get recognition for doing a good job, it feels great. But there was also part of me that was like, fuck, I really did not want this part of it. I didn't want to be recognized on the street. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but that wasn't my goal.
So let's take that a step further. So now you are being recognized on the street. You are Dani Daniels. You have followers all over the world. Do you feel different because of that? Do you feel more of an obligation to your fans? Do you feel more concerned about your privacy? Are there things that came with that you weren't expecting that you knew you had to deal with?
It's different because I forget who and what I am. I forget who and what Dani is. Because when I'm home and I'm Kira and I'm with you and I'm traveling or like I'm doing something that's not revolving around porn, I forget, oh, fuck, I'm top 20 on Pornhub. Oh, like it doesn't, like, I don't wake up in the morning and think like, oh, good morning, what a lovely day to be a porn star. It's like, it's not in like who I am as a person.
Bring me the best bagels in the land.
Like,
yes.
there's people in my industry that are like that, and that's fine if that's you. Like, there's people in my industry that like love being that person and love being like a character, and like the porn star in them is them. It is not me. It is a part of me, but I don't. If you were to ask me to define myself, I wouldn't be like, Kira, porn star, like It doesn't, it's not until like I'm doing something on social media or going live or camming that I realize like, oh, okay, I'm a porn star for the next hour. Like, and I'm not like pretending to be someone I'm not. It's just not my entirety as a person. When right. I'm painting, when I'm home, when I'm gardening, when I'm cooking, when I'm baking, when I'm being a wife, like that's not in my head. And even when I was shooting every single day, as soon as I would leave set, it was not in my head, because some people have a job and that's their entire life. And some people have a job and then they go home at night. I'm the person that has a job and goes home at night. And like, I love it and I love porn, but half the time I fucking forget. Even when I'm like making stupid TikToks, it's not in my head. until people are like, "Oh, you're funny even without a dick in your mouth." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Oh yeah, that's
cold
right.
bucket of water. Cold bucket of water. Let's.
But it's not like it's not in my headspace, I guess. And I'm not saying that in like a rude way. I'm not saying that like, I have many different depths to who I am, and so yeah.
Those of
if that makes any sense.
Those of you who are listening, as her husband, I can tell you she's not bullshitting. She does not wake up in the morning realizing she's Dani Daniels.
Yeah,
not
like
even
I
close.
don't wear I wear lingerie for you. Like I'll occasionally like put something on for my husband, but like I don't dress sexy. Like if we go to dinner or like I want to look cute for you or like cute. I mean like for my own being too. Like for like I want to look cute tonight.
You dress classy. You always dress classy.
I dress like a woman. I don't dress like a porn. Like there's just I have like porn star clothing that I wear when I'm being Dani Daniels, but like that's not. It's a character,
Right.
And it's part of me, but it's everyone's character. You can argue even if you're a mainstream actor and you don't suck dick for money, like you can argue, like I'm trying to think of an example, like The Godfather. Like is the God of what's his name?
Which one?
The guy,
Al Pacino.
Yeah, is Al Pacino the Godfather?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a part of him, but it's not
the character.
He doesn't wake up and say and go, "Oh, my son," or whatever the fuck.
He doesn't order a hit. Yeah, he's not waking up in the morning and calling Luca Brasi for a hit.
Right. Because he made that character.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that was a long explanation.
No, there was perfect. So take that a little bit further for me, because I've been doing PR for a very long time, and one of the things that I've noticed in the entertainment industry, from porn to modeling to music, many of you, and you are introverts.
Oh
many.
God! Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Not all of us,
but many,
but a lot.
many. I would say of the group of friends that we have that I was introduced to, that your adult film star friends, I would say 80%.
Who all love you more than me now, and it's like
they don't love me more than you.
I'm like, everyone likes you better than me.
They don't they just know that I'm going to answer them. That's the only difference.
That's true. I'm really bad with my phone. Sorry to all my friends.
But they're also the same way, because they're all introverts. I would say 80% of the people, and we're talking top tier adult film stars, all the way down to people who are up and coming, folks that I've mentioned, 80% of them are introverts. I
can tell you why.
That was my question, yeah.
I mean, like, okay, for example, like, I am never on my phone. Like, my friends always bitch to me, like, you never answer your phone, you never text me back, it takes you 5 days to text me back, I know you're on your phone all day, like, what is the deal? And, like, the reason is, like, I'm on my phone 24/7. I am on social media, on Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans, my website, and then I'm going to my computer, I'm doing my emails, updating my website. I'm doing this all day, every day, and I love it. It's great. But when I'm done, I'm not checking my messages.
Right.
Like, and it's not because I'm like, oh, fuck my messages. I'm just like, when I'm done and I put down my phone, I'm like, oh, okay, now I can have a glass of wine. Where usually people get out of work and then they're like, oh, I haven't checked my phone all day. Like, I'm going to go check it. So that being said, as an example, like, I feel like it's very similar with porn, is because, porn stars go to set, and we have to be on. We are performing. And we're not performing for an hour. We're performing for usually like 6 to 12. And you're being this outlandish, I don't know if outlandish is the right word, but like this, overly person.
Overly
like,
sexualized person.
Yeah, and just like not even overly sexualized, because that is true, but just like you're acting like all day. And you have to be on all day. And like,
literally dramatic.
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
dramatic.
and like, you go to say like, yeah, come over here, pool boy, what,
Yeah.
and then you're like, it's just a lot. Like and like I get it, because you're playing to a camera, you're performing. It's the same with actors. A lot of like Broadway actors that are friends of ours, or a lot of mainstream actors that are friends of ours, you're on, and then when you're done, you're fucking tired, and you just want to curl up in your PJs and read a book, or like. And I feel like
it seems to have always been a very minor twist on like a manic depressive cycle. When you're on, you're manic, you're in, you're acting, you're putting this huge performance on, and when you're done, you're done. Yeah. Like you said, you want to be home with a glass of wine with maybe somebody that you care about, watching TV or reading a book, and you're done.
You can be, and I'm not saying that like, porn is different than acting. It is, but we're still, even though a lot of the plots are really stupid and they're over the top and not believable, like we're still acting. You know, I'm still pretending to be this housewife trying to fuck my trainer.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't matter if you're like doing Shakespeare all day or if you're being a super hoe all day, you're fucking done at the end. Mean, so... And you just, but I'm saying is like, that's why a lot of girls in the industry, and like, I can't really speak for men, but men are also introverts, but like a lot of girlfriends of mine, like we all love Disney. We all love, you know, puppies and fucking cartoons and like anything that's like the opposite end of the spectrum to like balance out our life.
Yeah, like almost wholesome and childlike as opposed to
and I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm definitely speaking for myself, and I'm also speaking for observation because everyone likes Disney and porn. Everybody has some kind of a pet.
Well, it's the happiest place on the world, and puppies are puppies. Yeah,
and some people are like that. You know, like I don't know Nicolette Shea in real life. But I've seen Nicolette Shea on camera and off camera, and she is the same person. Yeah. And I give her credit. She's just this outgoing, bubbly, loud person. And I'm like, dude, I wish I could be that. Because as soon as the camera's done, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go hide in a corner. I don't want to socialize. I'm really, really shy. And maybe porn is a way for me to be that other side, you know?
That's what I know Howard Stern and Al Pacino and many others who are very introverted have said that it's their way of convincing their mind to be extroverted and be this character. Mm-hmm. But the moment they have to be themselves, they can't. We had Patrick Page on, and Patrick was talking about how he was in character as the Grinch.
Yeah.
And because he was in character as the Grinch, he was able to approach Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
He said if he was Patrick Page, he would have never been able to do it.
Yeah, if I was at a party and everyone at the party knew me as Kira, I'd be hiding in a corner. If everyone at the party knew me as Dani, I would be very loud and boisterous. The problem is when those two mix, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I usually have many panic attacks, but yeah.
Well, and that's one of the differences is in the porn industry, you're not Dani Daniels today and Mary McIntyre tomorrow. You're Dani Daniels constantly. Yeah. Your character is consistent throughout. You're almost like a...
And then you have like sub-characters.
Right.
Dani Daniels.
The pool.
The super hoe wife. Dani Daniels, the cam girl. Dani Daniels
real estate agent,
never fucked a woman before. Yeah.
But it's always the same. It's almost like you're an ongoing television show with the same character. Mm-hmm. Whereas many of these, like
the Sheldon,
right? Yeah, they're just you're Sheldon forever. Whereas Al Pacino plays 58 roles, but it's the same thing for people in the music industry. Mm-hmm. You are who you are. Mick Jagger's Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones. Everybody expects Mick Jagger to jump up on stage and be a lunatic. Yeah. And I wonder what Mick is like. But
it's the same with people like on Broadway. I mean, they go to shows every night, or if you do anything on stage live every night, you're going and playing the same character every night for multiple hours.
What did Dave, our friend Dave Thomas Brown, who was on the show, who's in the Book of Mormon, said he was at like 600 performances.
Yeah, you can't walk away from that and not have that be a part of you now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your character. You're not playing that. I play characters for like a day. I've done like role play stuff for like a day, and then it's gone. But if you're doing something every day, for years, that's gonna stick to you.
And you do have to tend to carry that into a public persona too, whereas again Sheldon or Al Pacino, when Al Pacino is done, or even take any major television character from any TV show, when they're off stage, Alan Alda's Alan Alda, he's not Hawkeye and MASH or whatever it is. You're Dani Daniels when you're on and off stage.
Yeah.
So now that doubles the pressure on you.
I'm not saying that like we deserve Golden Globes and Emmys and shit like that, but I'm just saying it's like when people don't take our job seriously, it's frustrating because like we're playing over-the-top characters. There's plenty of over-the-top characters in mainstream acting.
Yeah, both on-screen and off-screen, you have to play the same character.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is like, if I'm being... And I am not discouraging people from coming up to me, because if you see me somewhere, and as long as you're respectful, please come up to me. I do not care.
That's no bullshit. Very approachable.
Unless I'm, like, having dinner with my family, and I don't know. Even then, like, I don't care. Just, like, be polite. But to be Kira, and in a space where I'm being Kira, and then to have someone come up to me and then suddenly have to be Dani. Because, like, for me, if someone came up to me and was like, oh my God, I love your videos, the Kira in me would say, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I appreciate that. The Dani in me would say, oh, you like jerking off to my asshole. That's fucking cool. And like both of them are me. But when I have to switch like that from one to the other, it's, you know.
And you can't quite say that in front of your grandmother.
No, so, yeah, and, like, sometimes I get really insecure because I'm not a secure person, and I meet a fan, and I'm in a situation with, like, you know, like, maybe I'm around, like, my in-laws. This has happened, where a guy comes up to me, he's like, I love your videos. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Do you want to take a picture? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, goodbye. And I walk away because I'm like, I feel bad that he didn't get, like, a quote Dani experience, but I can't exactly say what I would want to say given the company. Because it's just not appropriate. So yeah, I don't know.
And
it's weird.
And talk a little bit. So you were talking about like going to set. I think the perception is you guys go to set, you have a wonderful time for 30 minutes, and then you wave bye to each other.
Are you talking about like fucking someone?
You just in your porn set.
Yeah.
I think everybody just assumes you show up, you fuck for 45 minutes, you go home.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And everybody has fun, and the cameraman is smiling, and it's a good day.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what it's really like?
Like a real day on
set?
set?
Yeah, like a real day on set.
I'm just like such a porn basher, but
no, not bashing. Just so that people out there understand that this is a job.
Like, okay, so when I was shooting for other companies, I'll break it down for you, and this isn't every day because there's always going to be
exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, but this is like on average, I would say a typical day. So usually there's two things. Either your call time is between like 7 and 9 a.m. or you have a 6 or 7 a.m. flight. This is when I was shooting. Now things have changed because where people are shooting and what. But you would have a 6 a.m. flight or 7 a.m. flight if you were lucky to Vegas or San Francisco. So San Francisco, Kink used to be shooting up there. And then you'd have like Brazzers shooting in Vegas and like a couple other people. So it depends on what situation. But either way, you either have to get up at 5 a.m. to drive in LA, which takes 6 hours to get anywhere, or to get on a plane, which would take the same amount of time to now go to, you know, somewhere else. That's the situation. So usually you sit down in a makeup chair between 7 and 9, and you get your makeup done for about 2.5 hours. There's some makeup artists that are faster, but like usually 2.5 hours. Then you would either have a script if it's that kind of a set where you would have to now like memorize the lines for the day, because usually you don't get your lines ahead of time. Sometimes you do, but usually you fucking don't. So you have to like power read your script in your makeup chair while you're getting, and then the makeup artist is like, can you not look down? And you're like, I'm trying to memorize my line. So there's that. So usually so I should actually break that down. Usually you're memorizing your lines when you're getting your hair done for like the last 45 minutes. Then you pick out wardrobe with the director. And like, you know, so I would usually 90% of the time have to bring my own wardrobe, unless it was something like completely wild. Like if I was doing like a Catwoman scene, I'm like, I'm not going to have a Catwoman costume. But you should in porn, you know, have workout clothes, mom clothes, daughter clothes, wife clothes, hoe clothes, non-hoe clothes, conservative clothes. So depending on lingerie, all the lingerie.
All that you're responsible for.
Yeah. So I would have just like a closet of what, and you could only shoot something so many times until you have to get rid of it, because, you know, you have 5 scenes in the same dress. It's just, people get pissed. A lot of companies want you to have brand new clothes that you've never shot in, and they don't pay you for them. Now there's companies, I mean, I do give companies credit, like Brazzers, Reality Kings, a couple other ones, Kink, they have wardrobe. But, you know, if you're shooting for a smaller company that's not in the budget, all right, it's enough on wardrobe. Anyway, so you pick out your wardrobe. If you are working for a company that has wardrobe, you would go and they would dress you. And then you would go and do your pretty girls, which would take about an hour or more, usually like an hour.
Pretty girls are.
I was gonna get into that. Pretty girls are basically what I just said. Pretty girls are just pretty photos without the guy or without your scene partner that they can use to promote it. I still to this day have no fucking idea what the point of pretty girls are, but whatever. So yeah, so they put that up for the scene. Sometimes if you look at porn scene photos, there'll be like random photos of just the girl in lingerie or in her outfit stripping down, and then there'll be like more photos of like sex stills. So the photos of the girl by herself, those are the pretty girls. Sometimes they use them for like box covers, whatever. Usually while you're shooting Pretty Girls, the male talent shows up. Or if whoever was in the makeup chair first, an hour later from you initially giving there from 7 to 9. So like my call time was 7. The next girl I'd be fucking would get there at 8. So like I would be like ahead of her. So 2 things could happen. 1, I could shoot my Pretty Girls, and then we got like the guy would be getting dressed, getting ready, and then we'd go on to setting up for sex stills. Or the other girl, my scene partner, would now have to do Pretty Girls, and I would have to sit on set for an hour while she gets her Pretty Girls done. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because that's just how it is. Usually the girl that is been in the industry longer is usually gets the later call time just out of like respect. So you can see where this would become a problem if you're doing a scene with like 3, 4, 5, 6 girls and you only have 1 photographer. Okay. Then you move on. I'm going to speak now, like if I was doing a scene with a guy, you would move on to sex stills. So you would set up for sex stills. The camera would shoot. Okay, the photographer would come in and shoot you 300 to 500 photos. You would go through the scene and like fuck, basically. I mean, you're not going like at 100%, but you would shoot your sex stills. And during that time, you kind of like run your lines with your scene partner, kind of figure out, okay, these are the positions that are going to work in the room, whatever. And then you would break usually, grab a snack while they set up for video, because video lights are different than photo lights. And there's usually a video crew and a photographer. So they would have to change pretty much, switch it out. And then you would do your sex stills, your sex video, and either depending on the company, you would run through it completely, which is very rare, or you would do a scene, do a position, transition, pause, reset up. Do a position, transition, pause, reset up. Keep this going 3 to 6 positions. Set up for pop, which means set up for the cum shot, because you only get 1 cum shot. So you would like lead up to the cum shot, pause, make sure everyone's cool, make sure the guy's ready to come, and then he would come on my face. And then usually the photographer comes back in and spends another couple minutes shooting cum on my face. Or depending on the company, when they were doing sex stills, they would use Cetaphil and put cum on my face and then shoot that as fake cum. Now, if you're shooting for a gonzo company like Elegant Angel, the same thing applies, except for instead of shooting sex stills first, they shoot sex stills last, because they don't want the initial, which I actually like, because then you get to shoot the video, no cuts, all straight through, and it's the more like raw and organic to me that way. And then at the end, they would come through and shoot a couple sex stills and kind of reenact what you did a little bit, and then shoot the cum shot. So
that's a day on set.
Yeah. And then usually...
And that's usually what?
Oh, and in between that, at some point, after you get out of the makeup chair, you do paperwork. That takes about 20 minutes. Like, they shoot your IDs, check tests, 2257s, all that stuff.
So 7 a.m. till...
4, 5, 6. If you're lucky. Now, if the guy can't get hard, if there's something problematic on set...
But in a perfect world, 10 hours is a normal day.
Yeah, 8 to 10. Yeah.
8 to 10 hours is a normal day.
And then, if you're in Vegas or San Francisco...
You gotta fly back.
You gotta fly back. So then you're wrapping at 5, but understandably so, because they don't know what's going to happen. They book you on the last flight back. So you have to sit at the airport for like 4 hours to waiting on your flight, or you pay money of your own money to get on an earlier flight, or you used to wait on standby. And so you're like, do I spend the couple $100 and just go home earlier?
And in that entire process, you and your scene partner, guy, girl, or whatever, or multiple, have to figure out how to make this look seamless and sexy. Yeah. And this isn't every set. I can't say like this is how porn works, because different sets are different, but that is like an average of what That's happens. In the middle. And through all of that, you have to make it look real, make people think that there are actually orgasms going on, to the point that people think that it's just a 45-minute
I mean,
job.
there's actual orgasms going on. It's just people think that...
Well, obviously the guy's getting off.
But the people think that like the scene is as long as the video, and it's not. Yeah. You know.
Well, that's it. So it brings me to next point. You had you had been invited to Oxford University, and unfortunately it wound up not panning out, to discuss whether or not porn should be used as sex education.
Oh God.
And I believe the surprise that they received when I sent them the email back to them was That's great, except Dani Daniels wants to take the side of it should not be used as sex education.
Yeah, it's not. Porn is not sex education. Like it's a performance. Like it would be like I learned how school is from Glee. Like that doesn't fucking work like that. And like porn is not real. Porn is not real. Yeah. Like you don't like if you're gonna fuck a girl's butt, you're not just gonna pull your perfectly hard dick out and just shove it in balls deep with no lube. Like it doesn't work like that. The girls that do anal have that's a whole nother conversation, but they've either not eaten for 24 hours or cleaned out for multiple hours, stretched out with butt plugs, with other dildos, there's plenty of lube. They've probably already put lube inside their ass and then probably fucked off camera for a second to open up, and then when the cameras are rolling, of course the guy is going to put his dick right in her butt because that's showbiz. Yeah. But it's not real. I mean,
hey honey, you're a star.
And like, can you use porn to learn things? Of course. Yeah. You can learn how to eat pussy. Not all the time. You know, some companies shoot fake pussy eating. Some companies shoot real pussy eating. You know, like Girlfriend's Films, great example. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but like, you know, it's not how it is. You know, like you're not going to get in your Uber license and expect girls to want to suck your dick for free rides. Like that's not.
Don't get a job as a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah, not so no.
So do you think that it's helpful for couples to explore fantasies?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's.
Maybe discuss.
Great. I think it's great for
it's
couples
just positions.
to explore fantasies. I think it's great for people to live out fantasies, to live out fetishes, to explore fetishes, to maybe, you know, I'd much rather my partner, hypothetically, if you loved fucking girls in the ass, okay, if that was like your fucking favorite thing, but you loved me and we were married and I just can't give that to you, I would much rather you, as long as you were communicating to me, go watch porn of a girl getting fucked in the ass, get off to it, imagine it's me, because usually that's what guys are doing, and then we have our relationship, rather than you just go out and fuck your secretary and in real life. Yeah, of course. I think couples can like get ideas to spice up their sex life, but don't expect it to be exactly how it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
What would you say to this statement? It can be used by couples to arouse themselves, to get themselves maybe horny and in the mood.
Yeah, I could say that. You know,
I mean, if couples watch it together and they're getting turned on by what they're seeing, and then they have raw sex, which, as we all know, is not pretty.
Yeah, it's
sweaty and it's not going to be what you're seeing on camera.
Yeah,
but do you think that would be a good thing for couples? If they did it,
of course. I mean, you know, when I shot for companies, you know, there would be times we would have to stop because I was too sweaty or my makeup was smudged and they'd have to fix it. Like, because that's the reality. But it's true. It's like, that's the reality of the situation.
I was just thinking, because that's not real life.
Yeah, no, not at all. And like, and some companies don't care. I mean, again, it's just sometimes. But, you know, I'm not going to go watch Batman and be like, God, I want you to dress as Batman and fuck me. And you'd be like, cool. And then go jump off a fucking roof and be like, I'm like, you take it with a fucking grain of salt. Don't take it literal.
Really big grain of salt.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Like, people like are like, oh God, babe, we should do that. Look at her bent over the office desk and I'm the principal and she's a naughty student. I fuck her ass. I want to fuck your ass. Just like that. Okay. Now, don't go fuck your wife and just jam your dick in her butt, because that is not real life.
It's also not going to end well for you.
Get ideas for porn, but don't do them verbatim.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
So now you're into boy girl, and you started that like 2013-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know. 12 maybe?
12. Yeah, sounds about right. And you're doing...
Oh, I can do the math. Oh, God, I was only doing girl for like 3 years then. 2 years.
Maybe.
Oh, well. All right. Okay. I don't know.
So you do that. So
someone
now...
comment and tell me how long I did girl for. Because I don't know.
Well, there's no way to tell because, as you know, companies will store up scenes and then throw it out later on.
Okay, so I started in 2010. Whatever whenever Dare came out from Elegant Angel, that was my first boy girl showcase. So whenever that came out, that's when I started doing Dick. So,
okay. Well, it was
2010 minus whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So 3-4 years, and then you're doing boy girl, and you come to a point where, as you have said before, you felt you did everything you could do.
I wanted to do.
You had climaxed to the point that you were comfortable with personally.
I always had a deal with myself when I got into porn. I thought I'll never do anything on camera that I don't want to do in real life. And even when I got into porn, I was not a very promiscuous person with men or with women. I didn't fuck a lot of men. Like, I think people think that, like, girls, like, in the industry, like, oh, we're giant whores, we need to feed our whoreness, so we have to do, like, I didn't sleep around a lot. And I'd always been in a relationship. So then, like, it took me a few years to be like, oh yeah, you know, like, okay, doing the math, like, yeah, I could probably fuck a couple guys, and, like, that would be how it'd be in real life, you know? And so it's the same, you know, I'm not sacrificing myself. And I did everything, like you said, to my comfort level, because I don't do anal. I don't like anal. I'm not saying that everyone shouldn't like it. There's people that love it. That's great. That works for you, but it doesn't work for me. Everyone's different. I don't want to do gangbangs, you know. I didn't have that desire. I understand my fans want that for me, but that's not me. And I didn't want to just it didn't feel right to do something on camera that wasn't me. You know. So, yeah. So
now you're coming to a point where it's starting to become more of a job than an adventure, shall we say, or more of a job than fun in your mind?
It became boring, to be honest.
Same thing.
I fucked so many women and it was amazing, but it got to a point where, you know, you just start, when you're experienced in the industry, you start breaking in the new girls.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's bad, because experienced women broke me in.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing when I got in, but I got in to fuck experienced women.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, like, I don't have a thing for younger girls. And that was also part of it, because I was, like, in my mid-20s, and these girls are getting into porn when they're 18. And, like, I don't find that attractive. And so I would have to explain to directors, like, I don't want to fuck her because she's just too young for me. Like, it's just not... When I was 21, I'm fucking somebody 21, like, cool. But, like, now I'm like, that doesn't turn me on. And now I'm fucking somebody that doesn't turn me on. And now it's just, I'm breaking the rule that I wouldn't be fucking this person in real life. And how many women can you fuck until you realize I've fucked every woman every way. I know, I get it. I don't need to relive this constantly.
And your women list was very large, and your men's list was
and, like, and there were some women I didn't get to bang in the industry. I was like, oh, that's a bummer. But do I continue to hope that someday I bang them? No. Yeah. And, like, with men, men wasn't like a numbers game the way women were for me. Men was more like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this way. I want to live out this fantasy. I loved shooting for kink because I love bondage. I wanted to explore all my bondage things and figure out what I enjoy and get past things. Kink helped me in so many ways mentally. They got over a lot of fears I had, and I can't say enough nice things about them. But, like, yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I did everything. Right. What else?
And like you said, it wasn't a numbers game for men. You were working with the top male performers, and you stayed within the top male performers.
I started the yes list. We talked about this before, but, you know.
So as you're moving along, a little bit of a drag the needle across the record. When was your very first trip to New York?
Oh, God. I don't know. Like, I had been to New York way before that.
When?
I don't remember.
Were you teens, 20s?
24, 23? I don't know. Something, early 20s.
So, and the reason why I asked that is, so now you're in the industry, you're 20, 5, 6, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. You've come to New York a few times. You just make a break one day. You decide, I'm moving to New York. Why New York?
It wasn't really, like, it's funny. I love Europe. Like, I loved going to Europe. When I was shooting, like, I would travel constantly. I've always been a huge travel fiend. I spend all my money on not all of it, but I'm saying, like, all I love to do is travel. Every year for my birthday, I go to a new country that I've never been to. And I love Europe, but I didn't want to live there. It just seemed too, because I lived in California, it just seemed too distant. And then I remember the first time I came to New York, I was like, oh my God, I love it here. This is like Europe, but like American. This is American Europe. Like you can walk that was probably my favorite thing about Europe is like you can walk everywhere.
Sure.
And it's the same here. And just the vibe here, like, in LA, like, it's not for me. I liked San Diego. It was okay because I lived downtown, and I could still walk around. I think that's why I live downtown. But LA, it was like I spent 3 hours a day in my car. And it was horrible.
If you're not a car person cruising
I love driving. I do. I love it. In Scotland or the countryside of England, not sitting on the 405 for 3 hours a day in like bumper to bumper. It was exhausting. Like there were times I would have to pull over because I was like afraid I was going to fall asleep at the wheel. It's just, you shoot all day and you're just tired. And when I was in porn, I would paint. Before I got into porn, I would paint. And one of my exes, when we moved in together, I never told anyone because like, why would I tell people on set that I paint? Like no one gives a shit. They just want you to, suck a dick and go home. No one cares. That sounds mean, but like, that's not conversation. Like, what are your hobbies? Like that doesn't happen. So when we moved in together, he saw my art and he was like, oh my God, whose art is this? This is amazing. I was like, oh, it's mine, super insecure. And he's like, you should do this all the time. And I give him credit. Eric Everhard, I give you all the credit in the world because you are the reason that I like really started painting again. And, we then broke up and like, I kept doing it, kept painting and kept doing all I was doing it. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I was like, fuck, man. And then everyone's always like in your ear, like, what are you going to do after porn? What are you going to do when you get old? What's your end game? What's after porn? And I started like kind of panicking, like, what is my end game? I don't know. I don't have a degree. I can't go work a job. No one's going to fucking hire me. I'm a dick sucker. It's like the scarlet letter on my fucking forehead. So I kept painting and it wasn't like, oh, I kept painting because I wanted to like, but it was a combination and it's like, okay, let's really try this. So I tried to do it in LA and the LA art scene just like is not me at all. It's a very lifestyle-y. It's very like party. Who do you know? Like, it's just not me. So when I came to New York and I came back a couple more times and I was like, God, I really like it. I love it. And then obviously we met and I remember you saying just like, dude, I'd love to help you with your art. And this is before we started dating, for those of you that don't know. And it was just kind of like this moment where I was in the height of my career. I just won Performer of the Year. And I went through another breakup and it was pretty ugly. And I was just like, fuck LA, fuck these people, I'm out. And I wasn't like, I love porn. I'm not saying that about porn, but it was just like this constant, like LA is so draining for me. Like it's just, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep bashing it, but like, it's just not me. Like, who do you know? What do you do for a living? Who can I use you to get to? It's just, it's a lot. And, the porn vibe there, like, oh, you're a porn star. Why don't you come to the club? I'll give you bottle service. Like, that is not me at all. So.
As we've discussed earlier, yes, as we discussed.
Yeah, so I just got to a point where...
I was there. I was obviously literally there when you said, fuck it, I'm going to move to New York. Now, mind you...
that was the funny thing. Sorry, I'm talking about this too much, but I was on the fence and I snapped. And
you literally snapped, yeah.
I'm kind of thankful for the breakup I went through, even though it was like horrible, and I'm not going to start bashing people, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because I was over it, and shooting became kind of boring, and then I was over living in LA, and then the breakup, I was like, 3 strikes, motherfucker. We out.
But you had, and you and I, and again, we were obviously, we had been friends for almost a year at that point. You had talked to me about, even though you had just won Performer of the Year, and I remember when you won Performer of the Year, because I talked to you like a day or two later, you had even said then, this is probably my last award show. I remember you telling me that you knew you were going to go do something different. And I remember when you came here, and I literally saw like, it was like a light switch went on in the back of your eye. I went, I'm moving to New York. Now, mind you, I've heard that from a million people.
Yeah,
most people don't move to New York.
Everyone
later,
says something, you know, I'm going to become this.
Exactly, I'm going to be a superstar. A week later, you're asking me for a real estate agent. Yeah. 3 weeks later, you're in New York getting her in. You know, 2 weeks after that, you had a down payment. I mean, this was like an 8-week time period.
When I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
Yeah, that I can attest to. Now, and it's on your YouTube channel, and people will see this. And there's that interview that you did with Holly from an interview with a porn star. And in that interview, and it's been quoted a million times.
So old.
Yeah, it's been quoted a million times that you famously said, "You can't imagine dating a civilian."
Yeah, no.
And you had gone on to even say that it's hard, it's difficult dating inside the industry.
That's a whole other conversation, because like.
But something changed.
Yeah,
something changed. And I believe at the time you believed that.
I don't know if I could, like, if you didn't exist, I don't think I could still date a civilian, because, like, when you're in porn, it's very hard to date, because we talked about this, like, it sounds great on paper, right? Like, oh, you know, I want to date a porn star. Of course you want to fuck me. Everyone wants to fuck me. Of course, but do you want to sit on the couch on a Saturday on your day off, and I say, because there's no weekends in porn, and I say, okay, honey, have a great Saturday. I'm going to go take a 12-inch dick, and I'll see you in 12 hours, and I'm going to be too tired to fuck you because I'm going to have my insides hollowed out. You know, and then it becomes push come. And now the other thing too is like, I can't speak for everyone in porn, but personally, I would not sleep with anyone outside the industry unless they got tested first. And Vic can obviously.
Oh yeah, I got tested first.
That was like,
no big
we
deal.
had that conversation, and a lot of people didn't want to do that. And then I was like, okay, like, peace. Like, I'm all for getting tested. You know, I don't wear condoms in scenes, and the way that we get away with that is because we test every 14 days in the industry. And that's another thing with porn. Please always wear a condom in real life. Like, yes. Fucking please.
Yes, please.
But, you know, so you have this civilian situation. So now, would I be able to date a civilian?
But here's the question. You stop shooting for mainstream companies, and then we get together.
No, but that's what I was going to say, is it takes a very strong person to date a porn star. And I have friends in the industry that have partners that can do it, and they are strong people, and it's not for everyone, you know.
Yes, I mean there are some people, but there's also a difference too. There's a difference between dating somebody who's still shooting for companies, and you and I who are married and you're not shooting for companies. There's a whole different world to what the expectations are.
Yeah, but you're still the kind of person that you've never stopped me from doing anything, and you're still the person that if tomorrow I said, you know what, I want to go back to shooting, you would be supportive. It might not be easy for our relationship because we've never experienced that, but we have a strong enough relationship where we'd be able to communicate, talk about it, and come to an agreement on, you know, whatever. Yeah. A lot of people don't have that.
That's true.
And it's difficult. And so, you know, like I said in the interview, like I could never date a civilian because it's my job is already exhausting to now come home and deal with that.
But did you find that even when you were dating inside the industry, you still had to manage that? Yes, but it was easier. Because the hardest thing about dating somebody in the industry is if my ex went to set and fucked somebody I didn't like. Right. So it's so funny when like it would always crack me up when people would start to get together in the industry because like the guy's no list would like triple because the girl would be like, I don't want you fucking this bitch, I don't want you fucking her, fuck that bitch. So and then when they break up and then he would book a bunch of scenes with the girl to be petty and like it happens the other way around too, but that is much easier to handle than explaining to someone, no, I'm going to work. I don't like this person. I don't want to date Ramon. I'm just fucking Ramon for a paycheck, you know? Yeah. They don't live it. You know, people that aren't in porn aren't living the experience. And so I understand why it's hard for them to accept, you know? So you're retired. Let's say you're retired. Obviously, you have not left the business completely, but you know, people who have retired, doesn't that stigma still follow you though? I mean, you said an interview with Holly, it's not like committing to bang. Yeah. One of the things I said, one of my favorite things I've ever said is on Holly's interview, I said, you know, porn isn't committing to bangs. It's a life choice. I don't know if those are my exact words, but it is.
it is a scarlet letter on me forever. And my husband, it is now a scarlet letter on him forever because he is married to me. You know, people don't accept it. And it's sad, but that's, you know, it's not leaving.
It's not leaving.
I was talking about this the other day. It was like, you know, if I went and got my doctorate tomorrow, it would be like, former porn star Dani Daniels, now doctor. So.
Right. And no matter what you do, you're like, we even said it before, it would be former porn star Dani Daniels cures cancer.
Yeah.
You know, it would be like, there's always going to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the sad part that comes with it. So when girls do get in the industry, it comes with that. But it does have its positives and its like every job, it has its positives and negatives.
It sticks with us because it's exciting to people.
Right. It's also
whether
taboo.
It's negative, but whether it's negative or positive, it's exciting to people. So they always want to bring it up and they always want to talk about it because it's like, oh, but did you know that she used to do films? You know, it's
okay.
Juicy.
It's juicy. So now you're here. You've been here now 3.5 going on 4 years, and obviously we're in the middle of a bit of a crazy time right now. Did you expect this to be what it has become for you?
No. I thought I was gonna move here, shoot for my website, and try the art, and if the art doesn't work out, either start shooting again, or if I didn't want to, strip or something. I don't know. There was no alternative plan really because I didn't want to fail and I don't like failing, so I will make it fucking work. But I'm still painting. I'm still doing my art, but I've discovered, I thought I was going to be done shooting. I thought I was going to move here and eventually be like, have my website maybe a year and then be done. And I discovered that like shooting for myself is like so much fun. And it's brought back that spark of porn that was dying out for me, and being able to like shoot everything I want to shoot, come up with my own scene ideas, and even if they're stupid and campy, like it's still what I want to do. Like that has elevated me loving porn far past when I was shooting for other companies in the best parts of my career, you know. And I didn't think, and so now it's like, wow, okay, well, I'm in the city that I love. I'm in a marriage that I never dreamed possible with like my literal best friend, and I get to have the best of both worlds. Like I didn't expect that. I thought I would have to sacrifice, but you've had, since you have moved to New York, you've had multiple art shows, you've had paintings in museums. You have probably sold more art in these years than you had in your career, in addition to podcasts that we do now, a TV show, the box company that lasted a year that was successful for what it was, the fashion items, the coffee, the barbecue sauce, like all of this stuff has been developed around your brand, around who Dani Daniels is. Would you have expected the ability to really, that's a crossover into what you would call a safer work category that has been very successful for you, in addition to your popularity has actually multiplied not shooting? I think people know that I'm happy. And not that I wasn't happy in porn, but I think I was so confused. I'm like, God, like, and I think it finally clicked for me is, why was I getting bored with shooting for other companies? Like why was I over it? Because I love sex and I love shooting. I love showing off my butthole. Like I love it. And I think I figured it out. I think it was, I wasn't being creative. The creativity was given to me and I had to do what was creative to other people. Whereas now I'm creative. I get to do anything. Like that spark is that creative spark is back. And whether it's my art, shooting porn, coming up with funny t-shirts, coming up with socks, doing my coffee, doing my food stuff, like it's just having that drive of creativity is back. And I think that's what was missing in LA, but I couldn't pinpoint it.
Do you feel, especially for, and we've started working with other adult performers, helping them start their product. Do you feel that they have to embrace who they were before you can ever go beyond porn? You have to accept that you were an adult film star.
Oh, yeah.
And then move forward and understand that you're not covering this up.
It was funny, like Cherie DeVille is one of my best friends, and we were actually FaceTiming today, and we were talking, it's like, you know, this is 10 years in the making.
Right.
I'm making t-shirts and it's not, my brand is 10 years in the making. Of course, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm the fucking shit. You should love me. You should just love me no matter what. Love my titties. I got the best titties ever. No, it's because companies like Brazzers and Kink and Reality Kings, Brazzers and Reality Kings taught me how to shoot because they gave me the chance and let me direct and let me hold a camera and write my own scenes and like do whatever and do that. Like, they're the reason these companies like Elegant Angel that gave me the showcases, like, these companies are the reason I am who I am. I'm, and Sheree and I were talking, it's like these girls, especially now, a lot of people are going to OnlyFans and camming and they're home because
content creators.
Yeah, and people lost their jobs and they're desperate, and I understand that, but don't think you're gonna go to OnlyFans and make $1 million because you're showing off your tits.
Yeah.
Because that's not the case.
But that's the case in anything, and I've used this quote a million times. Stephen King once said, "You would be amazed on how long it took me to be an overnight success."
Oh yeah.
You're a 10-year brand build.
Me?
Yeah, you're a 10-year brand build. When you and I first got together, you had 600,000 fans on Instagram. Today, literally today, you hit 3.5 million.
Oh hey.
That's 6 times.
That's awesome.
6 times the number of fans in a 3.5-year period that you didn't shoot for a company at all, that you were your own content creator.
But it's also, I give myself credit because I am a content creator, but I give myself, it's kind of like when you shoot for other companies, you're kind of interning.
Right.
You're learning how to work on set. You're learning how sets run. You learn how to direct, in my case. Like, you learn all this. I know how to work a video camera. I know how to edit. I edit my own scenes. I do this all behind myself. But it's not, if it wasn't for those companies, I would be stripping in Omaha or somewhere else. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, no person's an island. There's always
both.
people. There's always
both.
people.
You need to be more than just tits on a stick. You need to have a personality, and you need to be, whatever that personality is. And you have to have a smart business sense, but you also need to learn from other people.
And would you say that porn gave you that business sense that you learned?
Yeah. I've always been hard on myself, and I've always been a workaholic. Those are just like things that are me. But learning the business, yeah. My agent, the companies I shot for, the people in the industry that helped me, the other performers that helped me. Our community is so great because if girls don't know how to prep for an anal scene, you can text a girl that's experienced and they will go FaceTime you and you guys can clean out your buttholes together. Like, that is awesome. Like, there's no...
Yeah. Phoenix actually wrote a blog on it.
It's us. Yeah, Phoenix Marie. If there's anyone out there that wants to learn how to clean out their butt, Phoenix will show you. Like, she's like, I want to help girls. And that's what you learn, and then you help the next generation of porn stars.
With the next class workers coming in, yeah. And isn't that kind of like the case in everything? Is no matter what you do, whatever your brand is, whatever it is, it's built on good people who taught you things and lessons you learned from bad people.
Yeah.
You need both. You need both. You need to kind of have the successes. You also need to have the failures.
I've been fucked over. Who hasn't?
But you learn. But that's, if you don't get fucked over, you go through life with rose-colored.
You have to be smart and to be in porn because you'll get fucked over so quickly. Someone will promise you the world.
Oh, yeah.
I've been screwed over plenty of times. Luckily, nothing too serious. But it's like... It's a combination, and like, there's nothing like that. Musicians aren't going,
Oh no! You got somebody like Billy Joel's a perfect example. Sold away his rights for life.
No, but I'm saying, every industry, especially creative, is so cutthroat.
Yes,
they don't want to tell you how they do things. They don't want to tell you, oh, I use, I mix this with this to get this, and this is my secret. I'm not going to show you because this is how I'm going to become super popular. But in porn. No, we're this community of people that are like, you haven't put 2 dicks in your butt? I'll show you how.
Yeah.
It's cool as shit.
I think what happens in all creative communities in general is there are non-creative people who are more creative. People tend not to be business savvy. They have to learn it. You get very business savvy people who aren't creative that prey on them. They look at them as a pool of money. But
that's the weird thing about porn too, that you can argue is, you have creative people and you have business people, but everyone... If you have musicians, they're all in because they're musicians.
Correct.
Porn people are all sexual. Now, what kind of sexual person are you? Are you sexual and you're trying just to get attention? Are you sexual and you want to make money? Are you sexual and you're in it for the experience? Are you sexual and you have no idea what you're sexual about? It's all these different people coming into porn for sex, but then something else.
Right.
You know? And yeah, so that's
it.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Porn is fucking rad, you know? I love it.
So going forward, and we're going to wrap this up soon. Where's Dani Daniels in a few years?
I hate when people ask me this because I don't know. I don't know.
What is
I thought
Dani
I was gonna
Daniels?
move here and do art and fuck off, you know? Like I don't know, whatever's fun. I mean, right now in this moment, shooting for my website and OnlyFans is fun. That's brings me joy. I don't know what's going to bring me joy in 6 months. I might figure out something new or some new platform that I'm like, oh, this is fucking rad. Let's do this, you know?
Besides the specific of platform, are there goals you want to achieve? Broad goals, not narrow, broad goals that you want to achieve as you're looking forward, you're looking down, you're like, okay, I'm 30 now. Mm-hmm. At 35, I want to be, or at 40, or not even a date, just, you know, things I want to get to.
At 35, I want to be happy. I want to be doing something that brings me happiness. I don't want to be doing something that brings me boredom, sadness, misery. I want to be doing whatever it is that makes me happy. And I don't know if that's going to make me $5 or $5 bajillion, but the happiness is the first thing, you know, so.
Right. Well, let's wrap this up.
That was a good interview, Ben. Good job. I clap for you. That was good.
You want to tell people
10
where
out
they
of 10.
can find you?
I might be banging my interviewer this evening. Hey, what's up? You married?
How you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm taking.
That's how scenes start. You can follow me. All my stuff I put on Dani's things. Thanks for listening to me. It's a lot of my voice, and it's making me very insecure. But yeah, thanks for listening, and follow me on TikTok. I am at 1 million on TikTok. Well, like I'm like really, really like a couple thousand away. Dani Daniels TikTok, and yeah, that's pretty much. And thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, guys, do us a favor too. If you like the podcast, give us some reviews. We can use
good ones.
Yeah, good reviews.
Don't give us any shitty ones.
I got a couple of shitty reviews. Oh, I got a couple of people pick on me, but you know that's because I'm the penis in the crowd. So.
I do have one plug. Is right now on my art because we talked about art a lot, and I usually don't like to cross promote too much, but on my art store, KiraLeeStore.com. KIRALEESTORE.com. I'm giving away all the money I make from my art to help people that are affected right now with the virus. I've been donating a lot to the Red Cross. I did a live on OnlyFans and we raised $1,000 and I matched it. So we raised $2,000 and like 20 something dollars. And so I thought it was really fun. So I'm doing that now with my art, and I've sold a lot of art and it's really, really cool. I know I'm talking a lot again. I hate my voice. But if you want to buy art and you want to support, because a lot of people need help right now, you can go do that.
So thank you guys.
Wait, your book.
No, it's okay. We'll get to that one later. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Wait for the corn on Amazon. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.
And we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Bye.